Nobody dies in One Piece. This is a phrase nearly every One Piece fan has heard, but it is completely wrong. In fact, Egghead Island alone has 5,936 canon deaths, and that's only the ones that are confirmed. I will be reading every single chapter in the Egghead Island arc to find every single death, both confirmed and unconfirmed. Only the main manga will be counted, so no anime filler or SBS segments will be included in the count. There are two main categories: confirmed kills, which are deaths shown on screen or directly stated, and unconfirmed kills, which are for named characters or off-screen events where we see someone take lethal damage, but we never see them die. Last time we covered every arc from Romance Dawn to Wano, and now we end with what may be the deadliest arc in the entire series, Egghead Island. We start this arc off with Boa Hancock. When Blackbeard and the Marines attack Amazon Lily, Hancock petrifies all of them, except for Blackbeard and Kobe. However, Rayleigh steps in and gets Hancock to unpetrify everyone, so there are no deaths. Next is the death of King Cobra at the hands of Emu and the Five Elders, which gets blamed on Sabo. Right after the death of Cobra, we see Lulusia Kingdom get deleted from existence. You would think reducing an entire island into a crater would cause a ton of deaths, but we only see 28 people, including King Seiki and Princess Cormaine. Since we only see these 28 people on Lulusia, we only have 28 confirmed kills. In the Germa 66 cover story, we see Cacao Island and 4 people get frozen by Kuzan. We know that Kuzan's powers can kill people, and we never see these 4 people get thawed out, so these will be 4 unconfirmed kills. When the Straw Hats arrive at Egghead Island, they meet Lilith, who threatens to sink their ship with the Mecha Sea Beast, where she implies that she has sunk other ships to get their treasure. We don't know how many ships she has sunk, so we will be counting this as the bare minimum it could be: 2 kills. We then see Law get attacked by Blackbeard. In this battle, Law's submarine gets sunk, and the only people who escape the fight are Law and Beppo. We haven't seen what happens to the rest of Law's crew, so they either died or got captured, making this 7 unconfirmed kills. Back on Egghead Island itself, we see that when CP0 attempts to attack the island, the Mecha Sea Beast destroyed her ship. While this seems like it would result in some deaths, we see that S-Bear has transported everyone onto the island, so no one was on the ship when it was destroyed. Once these agents reach the island, Sentomaru turns the Seraphim and Pacifistas against CP0, but since Sentomaru only told them to wipe out the agents, they won't be counted as dead. The researchers whom Sentomaru told to evacuate Egghead Island were destroyed by Saturn. I counted a total of 13 confirmed kills from this. We cut to Sphinx Island, the home of Whitebeard, where we see 5 Marines get crushed by Weevil. These were low-level Marines, and they got attacked by a Warlord of the Sea, with an attack that sent them flying into a cliff. Yet somehow we know that Rattel, the captain, survived. It's safe to assume if the guy who looks like a rat survived, the other Marines also survived. Back in Egghead Island, we see 85 Cypherpole agents that have been captured by Vegapunk. While these agents have been trapped in Vegapunk's basement for a few months, they have been fed enough to survive, so we will assume that none of these agents have died. Right after this, Shaka gets the cat treatment and takes a bullet to the brain. With this, we must figure out if the deaths of Vegapunk's satellites count as deaths. At the end of the arc, it is revealed that all of the dead Vegapunk's consciousnesses were rebuilt into one body. Since they are treated as still being alive, they won't be counted for any category. With that clarification, we see Pythagoras get stepped on by S-Snake and blown up, but he is still alive through his spare parts. We arrive at Egghead's time skip, where we first see Eustace Kid attack Shanks. As you can guess, this does not end well for the Kid pirates, who get absolutely crushed, with Kid and Killer getting knocked out by Shanks and their ship getting sunk by Dory and Broggy. With no confirmation of survival, all 31 members will be marked as unconfirmed deaths. Right after this, Garp flies a boat into Hachinosu, landing directly in the main square where Garp galaxy punches the island. A lot of pirates were gathered in this area, but no kills are confirmed. It is then revealed that Cross Guild led to the death of Captain T-Bone, a marine who we previously saw in Ennie's lobby. While discussing this, Vice Admiral Suru says that in the Pepe Kingdom, 1,000 people die each year due to hunger. This will only be marked as 1,000 confirmed kills, since it would be dumb to have a ton of deaths from a kingdom mentioned only once in a throwaway statement. We then see the execution of Saint Don Quixote Miosgard, who was executed by Garling for helping to free Shirahoshi. We cut back to Garp's war against Hachinosu, where Garp uses 2 random pirates to block Vasco Shot's fireball. These 2 are last seen screaming while on fire, so they will be marked as unconfirmed dead. Right after this, Garp is seen half frozen and stabbed by Kuzan. This would have put Garp as an unconfirmed kill, but in Elbaf he is seen alive. Back on Egghead Island, we see 100 marine ships prepare to attack the island. Later in the battle, we hear a transmission stating that 30 ships have been sunk, and after that we see 2 more ships get destroyed. That transmission also specifies that only mid-sized ships were destroyed. A battleship is said to have 800 marines on it multiple times in the series, and 20 battleships attacked Egghead. Doing the math, this totals to 16,000 marines. 30,000 marines attacked Egghead, so subtracting the marines on battleships, we have 14,000 marines on mid-sized ships. When we spread those marines across 80 ships, that makes 175 marines per ship, which means that 5,600 marines were on sunken ships. Seeing as these are nameless weak marines, they likely died when their ships were sunk by mecha sea beasts and pacifista lasers. However, battleships are also said to hold 1,000 marines during buster calls. If we take that number instead of 800, that leaves 125 marines per ship and would only count as 4,000 deaths. This will count as 4,800 kills, since that's the average of the 2. During this battle, we see Bonnie use her abilities to defeat marines, with one being near-death experience, where she turns the marine into a skeleton and turns him back to normal very quickly. Since victims are alive after the attack, they won't be counted. After this, we get to what is arguably the saddest flashback in the series, the Kuma flashback. Immediately, both of Kuma's parents are killed by a celestial dragon, and Kuma is sent to God Valley, where the world nobles are hosting their hunting competition. We know that nearly everyone on the island died. The population of God Valley is estimated to be around 100,000, but since we never get a confirmed population, only deaths that are told or shown will be counted. This section only includes Egghead's part of the event, so the full flashback shown in Elbaf won't be counted. We first see Garling kill the King of God Valley, giving him a 10,000 point penalty. Through the next few panels, we see world nobles killing rabbits. We see 65 people get killed from this. The next time we see Garling, he has 100,000 points. The absolute minimum kills he would need to achieve this score, with his starting deficit, is 11 super rare rabbit kills, so this will be counted as 11 kills. Soon after, we see Rox destroy a marine ship. We don't know how many marines were on it at the time, so we assume the bare minimum of 2 marines. After God Valley, we learn that Ginny died to the sapphire scales disease given to her by Saturn, and right after that, King Bakori burns the old village, where the villagers say that Bakori murdered people. This will be counted as 3 kills. Kuma then dethrones Bakori, but Bakori attempts to come back and get revenge. This does not go well for him obviously, and his marine ship gets sunk. His death is unconfirmed, but the marines on his ship will be counted as dead. We will go with the minimum of 2 marine kills and 1 unconfirmed kill. When Kuma is announced as the new warlord, we see Crocodile's reaction, where he asks Robin if a witness has been dealt with. While we don't see Robin's reply, we can assume this witness was either killed already or will be killed, as Baroque Works is an assassin organization. This will be counted as 1 confirmed kill. Once the Kuma flashback ends, the Marines prepare to buster call Egghead and destroy it, as they did with O'Hara and Eni's lobby. While in Eni's lobby, we don't know what happened to the Marines and the island when it was destroyed. On Egghead, we know that the Marines evacuated the island except for high-ranking Marines. This means that no Marines would have been killed in the bombardment. Saturn then attempts to use the Pacifista against Bonnie, but because the Vegapunk gave Bonnie the highest control over them, they turn against the Marines. This leads to the destruction of a bunch of Marine ships, and more importantly, Vegapunk, who was stabbed by Saturn and finished off by Kizaru for his betrayal. It is also here where we hear the Marines say they lost 30 ships already, and right after the Giants arrive and sink another ship. Right after, we see what was implied to be Edison's last moments, where he helps save the Straw Hats, but it's then revealed that he never died. Once all 5 elders arrive at Egghead, Nozjuro is going around crushing everyone, including this random giant. He is an unconfirmed kill. A few chapters go by until our next death, which is the 32nd Marine ship, which is sunk by Emmet. Soon after, Atlas blows herself up to delay Nostro long enough for the Straw Hats to fly off the island. Once the Thousand Sunny reaches the giant ship, Luffy and Emmett start fighting the Elders, and Emmett pulls out Joy Boy's hockey knot, knocking out almost everyone nearby. This is the last we see of Emmett, and it is unknown what happens to him after he says goodbye to Luffy. He will be an unconfirmed kill. Once the Straw Hats escape Egghead, we see Rob Lucci and Kaku. Lucci claims that he has killed Stussy for a betrayal, but we never see Lucci kill Stussy, and she hasn't been seen since she freed Kaku. Since Lucci claims she is dead, she is an unconfirmed kill. Just after this, we see Saturn get killed by Emu, who takes away Saturn's immortality and turns him into a skeleton. Right before this, Saturn attacked Vice Admiral Doberman, but he has been confirmed alive. Right before the end of the arc, we see the Chaos in Marie-Joie, which results in a celestial dragon shooting a random chef. He will be counted as a kill. Finally, we end the arc with the unconfirmed death of Bartolomeo and the Bardo Club, who are sunk by the Red Hair Pirates. They had 56 members, so that's 56 unconfirmed kills. We end Egghead Island with 5,936 kills and 105 unconfirmed kills. There was one death I missed in the previous video. During Marineford, a Kainu annihilates a Marine for not wanting to fight in the war. This brings Marineford's kills to 15. With that correction, the new kill count for all of One Piece is 22,816 confirmed kills, 5,993 unconfirmed kills, 5 revivals, 49 dead homies, and 2 debatable deaths with Smiley and the Going Merry. With Egghead Island complete, Whiskey Peak is officially dethroned as the deadliest arc in One Piece. If you guys want to see every single death in One Piece, you can have it. I left all my treasure in one link in the pinned comment. Like and subscribe if you enjoy, comment "The One Piece is real," and see you guys next time.